Užsiregistravo 106 Seimo nariai.
106 members have registered for the sitting. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, ambassadors, guests of the sitting today, the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania hosts a special guest, Chairman of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, Ruslan Stefančuko.
Gerbiami kolegos,
Distinguished colleagues, today is a very exceptional day. We have a very high rankings guest, and we host the visit of the highest Ukrainian official to Lithuania. To Lithuania since the beginning of the war launched against Ukraine on the 24th of February. It is interesting that the day coincides with a special day for Ukraine. That's the day of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Congratulations. Dear Ruslan, let me welcome you once again to the Seimas, to welcome you very sincerely. My colleagues and I admire the work you and the Ukrainian parliament have been doing all these months in the face of Russia's brutal aggression. During my visit to the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine in March, I saw how you and your colleagues, despite the battles in the suburbs in Kiev and the shelling of towns and cities, demonstrated fortitude and courage and ensured the continuity of democracy in your country. The Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine has become an example for us, as it has for parliamentarians in many other countries, of how parliaments should work in emergency situations. Russia's unprovoked military aggression against Ukraine, the temporary occupation of Crimea and other Ukrainian territories constitutes an attack not only on Ukraine but also on the international community. In Lithuania, we very well understand that by fighting, Ukraine is defending not only the freedom and democracy of its people and its future, but also all of us will stand with you and the Ukrainian people until the victory. I invite you to the rostrum.
Didžiai gerbiama Lietuvos.
Honorable Speaker of the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania, Ms. Viktorija Čmilytė-Nilsen, distinguished members of the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation to speak in the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania. Today, I am honored to speak before you. I want to assure you that we are grateful to you for showing leadership on many pressing issues in the region, for showing unwavering and ardent support for freedom and democracy, and for supporting Ukraine and Ukrainians in our fair fight these days. We share common history, rich in events, but let me remind you of only some important moments. We shared the joy of Lithuania and the Lithuanian people when on the 11th of March 1990, the Supreme Council of Lithuania proclaimed the restoration of independence of the state of Lithuania, thus giving hope and impetus to other enslaved countries on the way to the return of the once lost freedom. The first congratulatory telegram on the Independence Day of Ukraine on the 24th of August 1991 came from Lithuania, from Chairman of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Lithuania, dear Mr. Vytautas Landsbergis. Lithuania was one of the first countries to officially recognize the independence of Ukraine on the 4th of December 1991, in line with the results of the all-Ukrainian referendum held on the 1st of December. Some time ago, Lithuania began to fight against the Russian totalitarianism, destroying the USSR. It is us who are now trying to put an end to it on the battlefield in the literal sense of the word, defending itself against a full-scale, unprovoked Russian armed aggression against Ukraine. By occupying part of Ukrainian territories, systematically destroying civilian and energy infrastructure, torturing and killing peaceful citizens of Ukraine, Russia once again demonstrates to the world that it neither respects the right of peoples to self-determination nor values human life and freedom. It threatens its peaceful neighbors every hour and every minute. Although the entire democratic community has strongly condemned the war against Ukraine unleashed by the Russian Federation, Russia continues to openly despise international law and generally accepted rules of conduct in the civilized world. Russia is trying to intimidate everyone. How can we respond to that? It's by solidarity, determination, and invincibility. We will heroically defend our independence, as well as freedom and desire for our peaceful life and that of Europe and the whole free world. In this struggle, we rely on broad international support. From Brist-Rostrum, on behalf of the entire Ukrainian people, let me once again express my sincere gratitude to Lithuania for providing us with comprehensive military, financial, and humanitarian assistance from the very first hours of the Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Tens of thousands of Ukrainian women and children, temporarily displaced persons, found refuge in a friendly Lithuania. It is in Vilnius that the first Ukrainian center in the EU is open and operates. Thank you for this. I am very pleased to see Ukrainian flags flying at the entrance to the Seimas and on the streets of the city. Our flag has become a symbol of the struggle for freedom throughout Europe, and we, as parliamentarians, are making a modest contribution to the struggle by building fraternal relations between our countries. I believe that the meetings of the Interparliamentary Assembly of the members of the Seimas, the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, the Sejm and the Senate of Poland will strengthen our positions and our unity. I see today's meeting with you as a powerful expression of interest on the Seimas in providing further support to Ukraine in standing ready to go side by side towards our common victory. You have been with us since the first day of the war, when Russian troops attacked Kiev and its suburbs, when the world was shocked by the insidiousness, cruelty, and the scale of the Russian aggression. The Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania acted and adopted a resolution on the aggression of Russia and Belarus against Ukraine on the 24th of February. On the 8th of March, together with the parliaments of Estonia and Latvia, the Seimas approved the joint statement of the parliaments of the Baltic states in support of Ukraine's membership of the EU. Honorable Madam Speaker, dear Victoria, today I again remember your visit to Kiev on the 24th of March, when you came to Kiev together with the speakers of Latvian and Estonian parliaments. When the army of the invaders was still at a shelling distance near Kiev with artillery, field artillery, you were the first heads of parliaments to come to support us. Already then, you called on the international community to introduce a full trade embargo against Russia, increase the supply of weapons to Ukraine, think of ways to rebuild Ukraine, and develop a comprehensive plan of assistance to restore Ukraine's economy. You were in Bucha and Borodyanka. You became direct eyewitnesses of the large-scale destruction caused by the Russians on our cities and villages, and of the genocide of our people. In Ukraine, we highly appreciate your stance, dear Ms. Victoria, as well as the determination of the Seimas to bring Russian criminals to justice as soon as possible. We appreciate your support for the idea and the process of creating a special international tribunal on the crimes of aggression of Russia. On the 10th of May, the Seimas of Lithuania was the first foreign parliament to recognize Russia as a sponsor of terrorism and as a state that uses means of terrorism. With the same resolution, the Seimas recognized the actions of the Russian Federation in Ukraine as genocide of the Ukrainian people. In total, Seimas has passed 10 resolutions in support of Ukraine and condemning Russia's actions since the 24th of February. What astonishes is their number. Your determination is amazing, dear colleagues. These resolutions have become an example for many other parliaments. Honorable Madam Speaker, distinguished members of the Seimas, thank you for your commitment not to stop supporting Ukraine, but rather step up your efforts in that regard. There can be no fatigue when you fight for your own freedom and peace for our children and grandchildren. I'm grateful that the Lithuanian government provided for and Seimas approved in the state budget for 2023 the allocation of funds for the needs of the armed forces of Ukraine, including financing of trainings and rehabilitation for our warriors. Russia has launched more than 4,000 different missiles in Ukraine. Many of them were deliberately targeted at civil and energy infrastructure. Today, Lithuania is one of the leaders in helping restore our energy infrastructure. You provide us with transformers, generators, and other necessary equipment. Today, all Ukrainians are united by a common national idea. To win, to rebuild Ukraine, and make it an even better country than it was, and make it a member of the EU. Our will to win is based on our history that was not easy, just like yours. The tragic and heroic history of both Ukrainians and Lithuanians has made us strong. Not just strong, but invincible. I want everyone to hear this, including the Russians. We are invincible. And our soldiers on the battlefield have seen with their own eyes how Russians were terribly afraid of this invincibility, the measured, calm, conscious invincibility of men and women who were forced to abandon their daily work of sowing wheat, teaching children, or writing books after the 24th of February, and had to take up machine guns to protect their and our peaceful, free future. Dear friends, the queues we had in Ukraine were the queues to the conscription centers. Dear friends, Ukraine and Lithuania have gone and will continue to go side by side. We share several centuries of common history, including the history of the historic struggle for independence and freedom. Our peoples defeated the Moscow army at Orsha in 1514. Once, on the 11th of February 1991, the Supreme Council of Lithuania adopted the constitutional law on the state of Lithuania, thus confirming the robustness of Lithuania's decision to withdraw from the Soviet Union and putting an end to Lithuania's occupation. Lithuania then became a catalyst for the collapse of the Soviet Empire. Today we must act together to put an end to Russia's aggressive imperialism. We'll achieve this by winning this war together. At the same time, Ukraine's full membership of the EU is no less important task. We strive to make our powerful contribution to the prosperity of the free democratic community of European countries, and we are working towards the goal. The Verkhovna Rada has adopted European integration laws in order to timely achieve those indicators of success that have been determined for us by the European community. Figuratively speaking, we hold a gun in one hand and a pen in the other. We are also working very actively towards achieving our NATO membership. We will win and we will achieve our goals because from generation to generation, we know how to fight and know how to work, because every Ukrainian shows exceptional heroism, because we have loyal friends. Lithuania occupies a special place among them. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members of the Seimas. Thank you, friendly Lithuania and the fraternal people of Lithuania. We'll stand together until victory. Glory to Ukraine.
Dėkoju Aukščiausiosios Rados.
Thank you, Ruslan Stefančuko, for your very inspiring speech. And now I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Rozma to chair the sitting. Thank you.